Yes! Oh, it is. It is a hump day episode of Donno Daily here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. I am Alex Donno. We're going to be talking a lot of Miami Heat and a lot of Miami Dolphins on this episode. You know I'm going to sneak in some Canes talk because I'm dressed for the occasion and I'm cocky Canes fan, right? For I don't know, the rest of the week at least, if not the next several months, even before we get into the next football season. Huge shout out to everybody who's already early in the live chat. I love how, the Florida Panthers, they lose. The Miami Heat are in a very, very tough stretch. And of course, I get blamed for it. You might be right. I am a notorious mush. Although I don't know how I mushed the Panthers because I don't talk a whole lot about the Panthers on this show. I leave that to Dave to work on Mondays. I just watch and enjoy the Florida Panthers. I'm definitely mushing the Heat. I think there's probably something to that. The new reality for the Heat. That's the title of this episode. Shouldn't you be taking responsibility, Donno, for this? Anyways, I'm going to talk about this new reality for the Miami Heat, whether you should be freaking out a lot, just a little bit, or not at all. And we're going to be joined, one of my favorites, one of our all-time favorites, Royal A. Shepherd, is going to be joining us at 3:15 to talk everything Miami Heat. Around 3:30, 3:35, depending on what time we finish with Royal. Another show favorite, talking Miami Dolphins, Big John Stud is going to join us to help us reflect a little bit on where the Dolphins are spiritually and physically coming into the bye week. And it's going to be a good time. I want to remind you guys, we are brought to you, as always, we are served by the Quarterdeck Seafood Bar and Neighborhood Grill. Make this your spot to watch every big game. You want to watch the Miami Heat, you want to watch the Miami Dolphins on Sundays, the Florida Panthers, the Quarterdeck Seafood Bar and Neighborhood Grill with locations all over South Florida. Guys, this is a beautiful spot to watch the games. They've got the big high-def TVs covering every wall, the patio outside with the big screen. It's patio weather now down here in South Florida. I think it's going to be for the next couple of months. The seafood is always fresh. The sandwiches and burgers are delicious, and they've got 2-for-1 happy hour all day, every day. The happy hour never ends at the Quarterdeck. We're going to be having another watch party out there 1 week from today. In 1 week, a Miami Heat watch party at the Quarterdeck Davy. So I hope to see you guys out there. If you want to find the location nearest to you or check their menu before you go, visit them on the web at quarterdeckrestaurants.com. The Quarterdeck, come for the food, stay for the fun. And we're making money on BetUS.com. BetUS.com is the official sports book of Donno Daily. Make this your spot to make your wagers. And yes, my friends, you can absolutely use BetUS.com in Florida. People ask me that all the time. I don't know if I can use it in Florida. Yeah, you can use BetUS.com in Florida. They are taking your wagers. They have been fully operational for over 27 years. This is a full-service sports book. It's like having Las Vegas in your pocket on your smartphone or on your computer. They even have a full casino where you can play blackjack and other games for real money. They have hundreds of casino games you can play at BetUS.com. And we have the best bonus in the industry. When you sign up at BetUS.com with our code, 5RSN125. That's my show code, 5RSN125. Sign up with that code today. Bet on sports to your heart's content, and they're going to give you a 125% sign-up bonus with our code. So if you deposit $100, for example, they're going to give you $125 of free play money on top of your deposit. BetUS.com, they've got award-winning customer service. Find out why they are America's favorite sports book. Bet on sports, play in the casino, bet horses, pop culture props, and so much more at BetUS.com. You bet, you win, you get paid. BetUS.com. Now, tonight, Miami Heat are hosting the Milwaukee Bucks this evening. Let me just offer this advice. Tonight's matchup at FTX Arena between your Miami Heat and the Bucks of Milwaukee, this will not be for the faint of heart. If you are easily disturbed by blowout losses and lopsided box scores, you might want to find something else to do tonight. Spend some time with your family, play a board game, play Candyland with your kids, watch something on Netflix. This will not be for the faint of heart tonight. No Bam Adebayo this evening, as we've known. Underwent thumb surgery. He's going to be out for a while. No Jimmy Butler, who re-aggravated his tailbone injury against Memphis. No Markieff Morris. Wait, I thought he was faking. I thought Markieff Morris was faking after he got knocked down by a Jokic brother. He's still out. The Bucks, by the way, are getting Giannis Antetokounmpo back. The Miami Heat, they're in big trouble tonight. They were in big trouble 2 nights ago against Memphis. They were in big trouble in Milwaukee over the weekend. They are in big trouble for tonight. Guys, we have to brace ourselves for nights like this over the past month or so. But we have to weather the storm, okay? We have to weather the storm. We have to be patient. We have to be rational. Now, I titled the episode today, The New Reality for the Miami Heat. Now, I want people just to understand what we're in for, but also understand you don't have to overreact to this, okay? We're in a bad spot right now, injury-wise, and it's an 82-game season. We have to bunker down and weather the storm. And the problem is, you log on to Twitter, and if you're active in Heat Twitter, the way that I am and a lot of you are, you would think the sky is completely falling. You would think that this is last year's team all over again, okay? The way people are reacting to this stretch. Now, the Heat so far, and it's going to be a while longer without Bam. We know that. The Heat are so far 1-3 without Bam Adebayo. Just take a step back, zoom out, and understand, despite the adversity the Miami Heat have already faced, it's not panic time yet. At this moment, you're 4th place in the Eastern Conference, and you're only 3.5 games out of 1st place in the East. Things can get worse in the short term, yes. But I think things are going to level out in the long term. Things have felt catastrophic, okay? Now, here's something that's a little bit of good news, because the Miami Heat have confirmed successful surgery for Bam Adebayo. Now, they always say successful surgery. I don't think any doctor on the planet has finished up a surgery and said, nope, that was unsuccessful. I don't know about that one. No, it was successful surgery for Bam Adebayo. He underwent it in Los Angeles on his thumb. Now, the timetable for his recovery, it's looking better than we feared, okay? You guys remember when Bam first got injured, and, sources were telling us at 5 Reasons Sports, the timetable could be longer than what ESPN had originally reported, right? They had originally reported 4 to 6 months, 4 to 6 weeks. Months would be very bad. 4 to 6 weeks was the initial report on how long he'd be out after the surgically repaired thumb. We were fearing worse than that. And I said it on this show, and I'm happy we were wrong about that. I'm happy that it turns out we were wrong about that, because they said initially 4 to 6 weeks. I was bracing myself for 8 to 12 weeks, that it could be double that timetable. Well, things are looking now closer to the early timetable. As reported by our own Ethan Skolnick from 5reasonsports.com, we're now back to that original timetable, 4 to 6 weeks from the day of the surgery. So Adebayo should be back before the All-Star break. Of course, Jimmy Butler should be back well before Bam Adebayo is back. We're going to need all hands on deck before Bam is back. You're going to need to get Jimmy back. You're going to be able to win some games with Jimmy and without Bam. It's going to be really hard on nights like tonight to win without Jimmy and without Bam. I had a wonderful conversation with the best damn basketball analyst I know, Brady Hawk from the 5 Reasons Sports Network. And, I asked him just to go in depth, what are some of the things the Heat really miss without Bam Adebayo on the floor that fans maybe don't do a great job quantifying or understanding? Like, what are some of the finite things that the Heat lack when Bam is not out there? And the big points that Brady emphasized with us are defensively, the switching. We miss that without Bam. He said, quote, he forces so many things. Eric Spoelstra does not have as many defensive options or flexibility without Bam. You also lose offensive creativity without Bam Adebayo. It's a lot of perimeter stuff, Brady said, handoffs, pick and rolls, and there's not a lot of creativity coming offensively without Bam in the lineup. So he's going to be sorely missed. In fact, I see a lot of folks out there that did not really appreciate fully what Bam does on the floor until he's off the floor. We had a couple of people in our comments section yesterday that were essentially apologizing to Bam for underestimating him, for underestimating what this guy brings to the table, now, because you really see it amplified when he's not on the floor. And without Jimmy as well, we're going to have some really, really difficult nights. And I know that, Heat fans, Heat Twitter doesn't have a lot of patience, because Heat Twitter, and I'm not saying everybody on it has only been a fan for 10 years, but Heat Twitter really assembled during the Big Three era. That was when Heat Twitter became a thing. And yeah, there were a lot of people who became fans when LeBron James arrived, right? So very spoiled since that time. Yeah, you've had some leaner years since LeBron cowardly left and went back to Cleveland. You've had some lean years here and there with the Heat, but you've always been competitive. A couple of years ago, you made an improbable run to the NBA Finals in the bubble. So we've seen some amazing players come through here, including Dwayne Wade and the return of Dwayne Wade since LeBron James walked away. So Heat Twitter is incredibly spoiled and incredibly impatient. And sometimes you tend to forget you're talking about an 82 game season where there are ebbs and flows and there are highs and lows over the course of an 82 game season. I would be a lot more worried about this stretch that we're on. And you know what? Craftmaster Production says, nah, Heat Twitter is mostly new fans. Factual. You know what? You're probably right for the most part on that, because I think just the people who tend to use Twitter skew younger. Like, it's not the Facebook crowd, right? Like, it's not like your grandma and your aunt and uncle who are on Facebook in their 60s complaining about sleepy Joe Biden and all this stuff that people complain about on Facebook. You do tend to have Heat Twitter skewing a lot younger. And, I'm a 37-year-old man. Like, I can remember when the franchise was formed. I can remember going to games as early as like 1991 with my dad. I go back a ways as a Miami Heat fan. I've seen everything. Like, I've seen, I was very young when the expansion came around. I was like 4 years old, so I don't necessarily remember the first season or two. But I've been through everything. I've been through the pre-Pat Riley days. Most of Heat Twitter probably only remember like the middle to late part, the recent part of the Pat Riley era. So yeah, absolutely. And yeah, we're going to be talking about Lowry. Kyle Lowry is a topic that I want to bring up with Royal A. Shepherd when he joins us, because we're kind of out of the honeymoon phase with Lowry right now. It's not to say he can't get everything together and be an important piece of a championship contending team. Of course he can. He's done it before. Like, he did it in Toronto a few years ago. But yeah, I think the honeymoon phase is definitely a little bit over right now with Kyle Lowry. But no, I mean, you got a lot of new fans on Heat Twitter, and it's a lot of knee jerks, right? When the team is doing really well, like the first few weeks of the season, when every power ranking had the Heat number one, they were the top team in the East record wise early on in the season, the number one rebounding team in the NBA. Everyone was feasting, everyone was celebrating. Now we hit a rough patch and people are freaking out. They're jumping ship now. They're freaking out. They're panicking. They're complaining all the time. If the Heat were going through a tough stretch like this at full strength, right? I mean, if you were out there every night with very important pieces like Bam and Jimmy struggling, and an important piece, complimentary piece like Markieff Morris, who's been out a while, if he had never gotten hurt, if you had the full service of all of your most important players, and you were going through a really tough stretch like you're going on right now, yeah, I would start to get worried. I would start to question the effort of the five on the floor. If I can throw a shout out to everyone's favorite podcast, I would start to question the roster construction and just the fundamental foundations that this team is built on. But, how many teams in the NBA are going to be able to dominate and win on a regular basis when you're missing two of your two best players, period? I was going to say two of your best players, but your two best players, period, because Jimmy and Bam are that. They are your two best players. How many NBA teams do you expect to be out there thriving, and instead of going 1-3 during this stretch, going 3-1 or 4-0 during this stretch without your two best players on the floor? It's a fantasy. It does not happen. And the other thing, why there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and when I say this, the new reality for the Miami Heat, it's temporary. This is our reality for as much longer as Jimmy is out, which shouldn't be too long, I would imagine, even though he re-aggravated the tailbone. And for as long as Bam is out, which could be another 3.5 to 5.5 weeks, you're going to have lean nights like this. And I thought Greg Sylvander said it really well on the most recent episode of Five on the Floor. You try to scratch and claw and be 500 during this stretch. If you can be 500 during this stretch while Bam is away, you look at that as a huge success. But there is light at the end of the tunnel because Adebayo is going to be back before the All-Star break. Our guy Victor Oladipo, we're going to take him out of cryo sleep at some point. He's going to be back probably around the All-Star break. I'm not too worried about who gets injured in November and December. You get a lot more worried about who gets injured in March and April. So there still is plenty of reason because we've seen it. We've seen when this Miami Heat team is at full strength, they are among the best in the NBA. When this Miami Heat team is at full strength, they can compete and they can beat anybody. The fact that right now they're not doesn't give people license to freak out and panic and jump ship because I believe that things are going to be okay. And I'm not going to freak out. This new reality, I do not believe is something that's going to extend beyond mid-January, okay? Depot looked like he's been chilling at Carbone and Cold Stone. Depot, that's the hard thing, man, when you can't move around fully. Like when you're coming off a knee and you can't be doing your cardio, it's hard to stay in great shape. What are those? They should hook them up to those electrodes. You ever see those like 2004 workout infomercials where the people don't even have to exercise? They hook a sensor up to your biceps and to your legs, and then they do this electric shock thing and your muscles just start moving. Why haven't we hooked Depot up to some of those? You don't necessarily have to run to stay in shape. Like, is the guy healthy? Can he do some sit-ups or something? Like, he's going to be woken up from his cryo sleep at some point in the next couple of months. And then you're going to be getting Bam back before Depot even comes in, I believe. You're going to be having Jimmy back long before that. When this team is at full strength again, all of you whiny, loser, basement-dwelling mama boys on Heat Twitter who are acting like the sky is falling, the same people who are freaking out today in early December, in early February, you guys are going to be talking shit to the rest of the league the way that we were back in early November. So Heat Twitter will be back. Cocky Heat fan will be back. There's really nothing to worry about. You know who I love, and it's been too long since we had this guy on. I'm so happy to see his face again. Starters need to play better. That is for sure. Royal A. Shepard joins us. Royal, how are you, man? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Alexander Donno. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing really, really well. I got Mario Cristobal. Everything's right in the world. I can't even be too bummed about the Heat right now because I'm so psyched up about the Miami Hurricanes. Do you follow the Canes at all? Are you a Canes fan?
Sure, I'm a Canes fan, but I'm not one of those who followed through the dark years. I peaked at the championships, and then I kind of let it go by the wayside. But I am excited about Mario Cristobal coming over, essentially snatching away the Saban protege. So I'm a big fan of what the U is trying to do, and here comes the much support from Roy. No, I'm actually one of those basement dwellers that is yelling into the clouds about the Heat sucking that Donno was just referring to.
Hey, listen, the basement dwellers need a voice too, and I like your name. Starters need to play better. Yeah. Let's start with Kyle Lowry. Are you worried about him at all?
Yes. Listen, I do understand what Kyle Lowry brings to this team when it's fully healthy. He gives them the quarterback that we've been sorely lacking for all this time. But in situations like this, I've said it several times on the postgame show that I believe that Kyle Lowry should be a situational scorer, and that's how we should view him. In situations that require it, he should be capable of scoring. With Jimmy and Bam out, we've had a few situations that come up. Well, every time is a situation where we need him to impact the game with his scoring. And he's been able to answer the bell a few times, but more often than not, he hasn't been able to. So that worries me a little bit. And if we're going to look at him as just a guy who's going to set people up, you know what I mean, when we're fully healthy and, make the offense run like that, then it's not a $30 million guy. That's a $12 million guy. You can find a guy who's going to do that. So Kyle Lowry has me a little worried. I know that's probably going to go to the wayside when we're fully healthy and he's, pushing the pace and doing all the things that we were excited about in the preseason.
Now, I want me and you to tackle this one. Howdy Ray Grullon, who says, Donno, is Duncan Robinson tradable at this point? Well, okay, it depends, Royal. Duncan Robinson is tradable. It depends on what do you want in return? Do you want original lays or baked lays in return for Duncan Robinson? I mean, is there any value there whatsoever?
Yeah, I mean, listen, every contract in the NBA is tradable. John Wall got traded, and his contract has been an albatross. Russell Westbrook got traded when his contract was thought to be terrible. Chris Paul was traded when his contract was thought to be terrible. So there are examples of contracts. Every contract is movable, and especially for a shooter who may just need a change of scenery, like you can sell other teams on Duncan Robinson based off of the production that he's had for the past years. I don't want to sell low on Duncan. I'd rather just let him come in here and try and turn things around. But make no mistake about it, I am a seller on Duncan Robinson.
Well, and on Duncan, it's clearly, and I'm sure we've talked about this before, because he's been struggling all season long. It's clearly psychological with him, but it's noticeable. He's done better on the road than at home. So do you think it's getting in his head so much that he's feeling more pressure in front of the home fans?
Yeah, I think the way that contract is starting to get to him more and more every time he's in front of the home fans. Look, Duncan Robinson is a shooter. They go through slumps, but I think at this point it's a little bit more than a slump, and I think that's what's starting to have fans on edge and so antsy to trade him. But the shooting has come around a little bit. The impact hasn't been there, and I think that's kind of what fans are looking for in that next step. Like he's shooting around 40% for the past couple of games, which was something that he wasn't doing earlier on. So he's hitting that benchmark. Now it's time for the impact of those threes to come back. The moments, similar to Kyle Lowry, like when are you doing these things to help this team? And I think at the start of games, if he starts off games a little better, then people will come around a little bit more on Duncan Robinson. But yeah, the weight of that contract is definitely bothering him in front of home fans, and you can see it in his face, in his body language, and just his overall play. Like it's just not clicking for him right now.
So this question from Craftmaster Production goes back to Kyle Lowry. What 35-year-old point guard in the league consistently scores? Where do y'all get these ideas? Well, the thing is, like, you're only as old as you look and feel. And, haven't we seen evidence the last couple of years when he's been creeping into his mid-30s, and evidence this season, although it's not consistency. So I guess that kind of goes into what Craftmaster is saying. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think it's perfectly right to expect more from Kyle Lowry.
I think Craftmaster missed the first part of my thing where I said not consistent. I said situationally.
Yeah, that's right.
Like Kyle Lowry to me is a big game, big time, kind of like he's a playoff piece. You know what I mean? You're going to need that type of steadiness, that type of experience. And I'm not saying that he needs to be a 20-point per game scorer for this Miami Heat team. I'm saying in situations where we don't have Jimmy, we don't have Bam, we're looking to you to kind of manufacture offense for us, and you're not stepping up to that role. And I mean, I don't care if he's 35 or whatever. It's not like we're asking him to do it every night. If somebody else has it going, feed them. But it's okay for you to look for your own. I think it's okay for us to expect a little bit more from an all-star and borderline Hall of Famer.
Royal A. Shepard is with us here on Donno Daily on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. One of the things in the Memphis game that was a little bit puzzling was why did Tyler Hero not get more minutes? Because he was scoring consistently, but it's like, why didn't he play more? I'm hoping that's an adjustment Spo's going to make pretty quick here on another night without Jimmy and Bam.
Yeah, I think that's pretty obvious. I think that game kind of got away from the team. So Spo did a lot. Like the one thing that bothers me that if you're going to play Kyle Lowry 40 minutes, then you can't justify not playing Tyler more or the same amount of minutes as him. You know what I mean? He's the best player that you have on the floor at the time. But I think with Jimmy being out, then they know that they're in for a long stretch of Tyler getting heavy minutes. So maybe you try and save him for the one game that you can, because he's going to be out there with the starters, and you're going to have him out there for most of the game for however long Jimmy's out, and you're going to need him to kind of be as fresh as humanly possible to try and carry this team offensively without the services of Kyle and Duncan.
What would your advice be to Heat fans tonight? Because I mentioned it at the top of the show that if you're the type of person that gets really frustrated by losses and lopsided box scores, you might want to find something else to do tonight. Like, can we even dream of some way? And unlike over the weekend, Giannis is back tonight. So, the Heat couldn't even be close to a Giannis-less Bucks team over the weekend. It's going to be way worse here this evening. So, is there any reasonable expectation that the Heat might be able to pull off the home upset tonight?
Not a chance. We're gonna get our teeth kicked in tonight, Donno. I think I would advise people, like, I'm one of those fans. I hate every loss. Like, it just sits wrong with me. But people say that makes for a more entertaining post game show.
Ooh.
That's like it. But I would say that if you are going to subject yourself to this torture like I'm going to do tonight, then take your small victories. You continue to watch for Tyler Hero's improvements. I've said a long time that I don't care how Tyler Hero shoots in these in these games without Jimmy and Bam. Go out there and explore your game. See what you are capable of in these moments. And so I'm watching Tyler Hero every night to see what he does. And that's, succeed or fail. I'm interested to see how he's adjusting to what he's seeing on a nightly basis. I want to see Kyle and Duncan kind of get into some kind of rhythm. If you guys are going to be out here every game, you might as well do something and earn these paychecks that we're giving you. So, I want to see those guys come around. And then you look for, who's going to fill out the rest of this rotation towards the end. And that's a lot of these G League guys who are getting sometimes. So Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, Caleb Martin, like, you got to see which of you guys is going to be around when we have our full complement of players. Which of you guys can we trust to kind of step up in certain moments? And so you look at those things, and that's what you're taking away from these games without Jimmy and Bam, just how the team is growing elsewhere. You know what I mean? Everything, you don't build a championship in a night. So you take the pieces that you can when we do believe that we have a championship contending roster, and which one of those are going to help us get there.
That is well said. And I'm being advised to play some Nintendo Switch tonight to get Mario Party before the game. Maybe I'll get lost in a Nintendo vortex. I'll forget the game is even on.
Actually, I just bought my daughter. Like, my daughter is traveling with her mom for Christmas, so she wanted her Christmas gifts early. And so last night, I have been kind of delayed, but I finally bought a Mario Kart.
Awesome. Yeah, I do play that, and it's fantastic, as we all know.
Yeah, I bought it mainly for me. But I also bought her Pokemon. I bought her the double, so I bought her both versions of the new Pokemon that just came out, so that she can have that on the trip as well.
How old is she now?
My daughter's 15.
Oh wow.
Yeah, my son is 2.
Oh yeah, there you go. See, I knew we had a kid of similar age. My 3-year-old now, he's going to be 4 in a couple of months. He went through a little phase. I don't think we busted it out in a few weeks, where he was like really interested in video games. And like, I put on like on the Nintendo Switch, I've got Super Mario 64, because I thought that might be a little bit easier for him. And so he just kind of moves the joystick around in circles, and Mario doesn't go anywhere, but he laughs. So like, that's his extent. Eventually he will be able to save the princess and all that good stuff, but he's just starting to get into that stuff now.
Yeah, my son is still a bit too young for that still. I'm still in the Coco Melon phase, listening to that every day.
In there.
And so, we're riding that wave as long as he's gonna ride it. So that's what I'm at. But my daughter's heavy into video games. She has a PS4. She also has a Switch, and she's had pretty much every version of the Nintendo DS system since she was a little girl. So yeah, she's a beast, though. She's a Smash Brothers legend.
Oh, wow.
I dare not dock her door to play that game. But yeah, like, I got a gamer.
Oh, dude, that's fantastic. So I was listening to the most recent 5 on the Floor, and I thought Greg Sylvander, for once, made a sensible point. Now he makes sensible points very often, but kind of where we set the bar during this extended time that Bam is going to be out. Jimmy hopefully isn't out for too much longer after re-aggravating the tailbone, but obviously Bam being out has a huge effect on the Heat. And so if let's say it's sometime around mid-January, he's able to come back, hopefully early January. Greg said, try to keep it 500 during that stretch. Do you think the Heat can do that? Because right now, things aren't all that bad at the moment. I mean, 4 seed in the East, 3.5 games out of first place. If they can tread water to get everybody healthy in the new year, then this may not be such a catastrophe. But can they do that?
I think talent-wise, they're at a bit of a disadvantage in terms of being able to do that. They have a lot of guys, undrafted guys, G League guys, that are in the rotation now because we don't have our big guns out there. I think if they're going to do something like that, then they need to live up to the guts and culture shit that they preach to us all the time, Donno. Like,
Yep.
there's no way that you can go out there and give a half-assed effort and expect to be competitive in these games. I think Ethan made a beautiful point, and I hate saying that out loud. It makes me want to throw up. But he made a good point about the way that teams respond without their best players. Grizzlies are obviously missing their best player, Ja Morant, and those role players responded by playing hard. Desmond Bane is a really good player, but nobody will put him on the same level as a Kyle Lowry. And he's been able to kind of step his game up in ways to help that team get wins. And if Miami can kind of like scrap together, kind of pull themselves together, get into that dogfight mentality with every team, then maybe they can make a run at a 500 push while these guys are out. Hopefully that's what we see. I just haven't seen anything so far that makes me hopeful that that's what we're going to get.
By the way, I so regret that a few weeks ago I couldn't be out at the most recent Quarter Deck watch party because I could have actually met Royal in the flesh. Yeah. I couldn't go because I had a childcare situation where my parents were out of town. My wife works at night. I just had nobody to babysit. I'm not going to bring my kid out there at that. He goes to bed at like 8:00, so it wasn't going to happen. And then I found out if I had gone, I could have met Royal A. Shepherd. But I did see you got to meet Alphonse Sidney, and that was one of the coolest photos, man. So so it sounds like you had a great time out there.
Yeah, first of all, I sympathize with you for the child situation. I put my kid in a FedEx box and shipped him to Key West to his grandparents. But yeah, like people, by the way, like one of the things that kind of helped me make my mark in this space as a personality talking about the Heat was when I used to stream with Alf when he was with 5 Reasons, and I got the nickname Groupon Alf, and so that's kind of like, and so that for me to be able to meet, and he's still somebody who helps me out. Like we still talk, we're still friends and everything. So to get a chance to meet him in person for the first time was really cool for us, and it was a pretty good response from Heat Twitter with all the people just kind of getting in on it.
That was cool, man. And if we could beg you to put your kid in another FedEx box and like come down to the one we're having on the 15th, if there's anything we could do to make that happen, because I'd love to meet you out there.
Yeah, man. Hopefully I can get around to another one. I had a great time at that one. Quarterdeck's a pretty dope place. I like the setting where we were sitting outside or whatever. But yeah, man, I thought I was gonna meet you there too, and I was really excited. But yeah, we'll make something shake. I had a lot of fun meeting a lot of guys who I've been doing this with. And so you're another one who's on my bucket list. And so if I can make that happen this season, then I'll definitely try and get out to another one.
You as well, man. Thank you so much for the time. Royal A. Shepherd. You on post-game duty tonight, sir? What can people expect?
So tonight, the Clutch Corner crew is actually taking over the post-game show.
Good. Let them worry about it.
No, I'm the host of the Clutch Corner too.
Oh my!
So I still have to go out there and do my thing. It's okay. But speaking of the Clutch Corner,
losing my light here. My bad.
Yeah. Speaking of the Clutch Corner, we want to shout out the First Lady of 5 Reasons Sports, Alana Tower. She's no longer going to be with us on Clutch Corner. She's doing more Field of Heat. She's making some appearances weekly on 5 on the floor. So she's added those to her plate, and so she needs to take some of the things off. But much love to her and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, the Clutch Corner take over the post-game show tonight. Regular crew will be on the other nights. You are having hella technical difficulties.
Yeah, I apologize. I'm trying to start a rave over here. I apologize for completely distracting you.
Your setup is run by Bally Sports.
You know what it is? It's the globalists. It's the Illuminati. George Soros, Antifa. They want to make sure I can't get on. Sleepy Joe.
I saw your son with the tinfoil hat on, and I was in stitches, bro. I love it, bro. I love it.
Thank you so much, man. Listen, all the best. Enjoy the post-game takeover tonight. Royal A. Shepherd, thank you so much, man. Have great coverage this evening. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, man. Donno, thank you for having me.
Dude, that was fantastic. Yeah, I don't know what the hell was going on with my light. Now, the thing was, like, I bought this this circle light that, it puts a little bit, as you can see the difference when it's not on, so it's a pretty significant difference, I would think. I got this thing for like $15 and I got it back in July. So the fact that I've even gotten 5 months of mileage out of this light, which I think is now, it is betraying me. I'm going to have to buy like a $20 upgrade version of it at some point. Oh, man. Oh, that Brandon guy hacking you, bro. I don't know if I'm being hacked or what. All right, let's bring in our next guest. This guy keeps it real with us on a Wednesday. And I can relax this week. We can all relax. I mean, the Dolphins have earned their bye week. I know the bye week is pre-scheduled, but the Miami Dolphins have earned it, Big John Stud, coming off 5 straight wins. In fact, I heard some players, including Jerome Baker, saying they kind of wish they didn't have the bye week this week because they wanted to keep the momentum going. Now, I'm happy they have the bye week because it's late in the season, and you want to. All your little nicks and bruises, and some of the players who haven't been healthy have an extra week to get healthy. So I'm cool with it. But how are you, man? What's it going to be like this weekend watching other games on Sunday, not Dolphins?
You just got to roll with the punches, man. You sit there and you hope they kick the shit out the Raiders, and you hope they kick the shit out the Chargers. And Keenan Allen is out for, what is it, protocol? I guess he touched too many people in funny places. I don't know. Watch them all lose. It is what it is. You just sit there. At the end of the day, if we're 7-7, eventually they have to lose. They have to play each other. So, it is what it is.
It is indeed. The Dolphins had like a what they call a walkthrough, like a light practice today. And Philip Lindsay did participate. Will Fuller and Malcolm Brown did not. Now, you don't read too much. I mean, it's good for Philip Lindsay. As far as like Brown and Fuller, you don't read too much into it right now because, they don't even have to release another injury report until I think next Wednesday before the Jets game. But, I know you've got to be happy to hear Philip Lindsay is doing better because you and I really appreciated his performance a couple weeks ago in his Dolphins debut.
He's the only player he's the best blocking player on the Dolphins, including the offensive line.
Yeah.
The best blocker is Philip Lindsay. That is sad but true.
He saved Tua Tagovailoa's life on that play where he threw a deep ball.
Yeah, yes he did. Yes he did. If Tua gets hit there, Tua's out for another 3 games with broken ribs again.
Yeah, and of course Tua has been playing so well, and there are certain people in the national media that are coming around, okay? We all saw Dan Orlovsky said some really nice things about Tua on one of those ESPN shows. I think it was NFL Live. Like, he was very complimentary about Tua. He's been critical of Tua before. There are still some critics out there. I think last week you and I talked about the comments made by Brandon Marshall and Phil Simms, where they were just like, oh, what's his superpower? What does the guy do well? He doesn't do anything distinctly well. And then Keyshawn Johnson criticized Tua either today or yesterday. But basically his argument was kind of a Fugazi argument because he was talking about, basically the way that Tua has been handled. Like, not really the way he's playing, just he's saying, oh, yeah, he's playing well out there, but why did they keep Fitzpatrick around last year and bench him for Fitz? Why did they try to get Deshaun Watson this year? So it wasn't really a commentary on Tua. It was more a commentary on the situation. But why do you think it's taking still some people a long time to give Tua any credit? Because I've been critical of Tua in the past, but I don't see how anybody can look at his recent body of work and really criticize anything about the guy.
Before I get into answering your question, I would like to ask Keyshawn Johnson, how come they kept throwing Wayne Corbett the football and didn't want to throw you the damn ball? That's what I want to know. Because you weren't that good either, crying like a bitch. But anyway, I don't know how they don't give Tua credit, man. They don't like giving Tua credit because the national media is full of shit. And it's all started by Colin Cowherd. The guy is horrible. Yeah. He's even infected Jason's sister, man. Jason's sister has become infected with Cowherd's garbage.
She's anti-Tua also.
Yeah, she became anti-Tua. The good thing is, Crowder went on there and told Colin, hey, you know what? You're right. They don't like you. They do think you're full of shit. That was great. Channing Crowder keeps it 1,000. If I keep it 100, he keeps it 1,000. That guy's amazing. But I don't understand why I don't want to give Tua credit. At the end of the day, you're playing with limited resources at every level. Offensive line, worst offensive line in history. I'm pretty sure. Receivers, you're playing with a one-legged Devontae Parker, Mike Gesicki, Jalen Waddle's the only true receiver. He's a rookie. He's about to get 1,000 yards as a receiver, over 100 catches, and they're using him as a possession receiver, which is insane. Yeah. So, like, there's nothing the guy can do is going to get him any credit until they. I don't understand it, because here's my thing: Tua's sitting there throwing 2.5-second yard passes because he got no time, right? He completes 84%, but you know the passes are going to go between 1 and 20 yards. There's 11 players between 1 to 20 yards everywhere in front of him, and he's still completing the pass.
You know, I was just going to say, over, about a month ago, it didn't look to me like there was any way Chris Grier could keep his job beyond this season. But now, during this 5-game winning streak, we look at how well Tua is playing. We look at how well, the top guys from the class of 2021 have been playing, right? You talked about Jalen Waddle. I don't need to add anything to what you said. He's been fantastic. Jalen Phillips has been playing like a man possessed, during this winning streak. He's been great. Javon Holland is an absolute stud. So do you think Chris Grier is officially off the hot seat? Like, is there any way now I didn't think there was a way he did keep his job. Now I'm not sure if there's any way he doesn't keep his job.
I mean, here's my question. I don't see a way that he loses his job based on his last, when we made the comment about Chris Grier not making it to next season, it was justified.
Yeah.
These draft picks had not played anywhere near to where they're playing now. Tua supposedly wasn't playing well, according to people. I thought he was. They were making fun of Waddle for catching 13 passes from Jacoby Brissett for 84 yards or 52 yards or whatever it was. Jalen Phillips, they were saying, was not the right pick. Javon Holland was the only one playing with any consistency. So it was justified to say, hey, Chris Grier, you got to go, bro. You've had 13 picks, and they all suck, if you really want to be legit about it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day now, it seems like they all grew together. Like, all of them. Christian Wilkins got better. Jalen Phillips got better. Waddle got better. Tua got better. Everybody got better at the same time. They all got better together, it seems. And so now we're giving them credit. I still don't think that just because Chris Grier keeps his job, in my opinion, Brian Flores should keep his. Well, the only way I see Brian Flores
pick up on that. Pick up on that, because a lot of people would think that Flores' job was safer than Grier's job in the first place. So do you think that there's a way that they let go flow? I have a hard time seeing it.
Well, your homeboy, my homeboy, Big O, I love him. He's great. Orlando's amazing. But he makes a valid point. If you cannot build a coaching staff, you can't be a head coach.
Right. Got to find a real offensive coordinator. The offense is
there's no way. There's no way in hell, okay, that you're gonna be here next season, and you're gonna bring back the same offensive staff. That's not gonna happen. I would hope not. So you need an offensive coordinator, an offensive line coach, a new wide receiver coach. You need a whole offensive staff. And at the end of the day, the problem is that I think the same way he does, it's not because Orlando Big O's Cuban and I'm Cuban. It's not that. I mean, that's one great similarity, but that's not it. If you can't build an offensive staff, can't be a head coach. The only thing I've said, and I've heard you say it on other platforms also, is if you are going to keep Brian Flores, as long as you bring in Steve Sarkisian to be offensive coordinator, who I notice how I beat the drum for the same guy every time. I don't want Bill Lazor. I don't want Don Shula's son. No. Give me Steve's why? Because Steve Sarkisian believed in Tua, wanted to coach Tua, knows Tua, and you want someone, if you're going to bring in somebody to be the offensive coordinator to your quarterback, you want the quarterback and offensive coordinator to see eye to eye. I'm tired of having one guy like Chan Gailey, as good as he is, Tua's not ready. Tua can't throw. Tua can't run. Look, you're 70. Stay retired. I love him, but stay retired.
I agree.
And then the other guys don't know what they're going to do. You got 7 coaches trying to give 7 different play calls in Tua's ear. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So you want to have a common vision. These 2 guys have worked before in the past. They've worked with great success, and I think it'd be great to bring Tua, Sarkisian, and Waddle together. They played together in Alabama. Might as well see what they can do in the pros. And you keep Brian Flores as head coach.
See, Brooklyn Rob writes in, Sark not leaving Texas. Are we sure Texas doesn't fire him, though? Because, I mean...
Yeah, that's what I told you a couple episodes ago, Brooklyn Rob. You got to go back about 3 episodes. You got to go back about 3 episodes, Brooklyn Rob. But yes, I don't. Even if Sark isn't, look, Mario Cristobal wasn't leaving Oregon, and he came over here.
That's the power of Miami, my friend.
If you tell Steve Sarkisian, listen, we'll pay you money to come coach the Dolphins, and you get to coach Tua, I'm pretty sure he'll take that over Texas, man.
Oh man! By the way, you mentioned the Cuban connection you have with Big O. You also have a Cuban connection to the newest Miami Hurricanes head coach. Man, how excited are you for Cristobal?
Man, he got me wanting to run through the tunnel for that guy.
Dude, same. I was just having this conversation. We recorded and it's available now. This morning, Larry Bluestein and we recorded the newest episode of 5 Rings Canes, and I told Blue I watched Cristobal's news conference yesterday, and he had me so fucking fired up, man. I wanted to run through a brick wall for that guy. We are right there on the same page.
The only thing that would have been better is if when he was done talking, if The Rock would have come out behind him and done his own schmeal, If you smell, and I would have just died. That'd have been the end of it. Have The Rock come out after everybody who's an alumni. Here comes Rocky to his own music. That would have been great. That would have taken the cake.
Would have. And then, of course, in typical Mario Cristobal fashion, because that guy, he is the hardest worker I've ever known in the coaching business. The second he's done with that news conference, he goes right to Miami Central and he's recruiting. Like it's crazy. Like he got there, he was wearing the same suit and tie. He's right there preaching the gospel of Miami football. Probably had barely gotten an hour of sleep since he arrived in Miami in the first place. 17
more Cuban coffee shots. I got it.
Yeah, that was what he said, that his I think it was 16. Yeah. So you added an extra coffee, which is maybe it is 17, who knows. But he talked about he sleeps about 2 hours a night and he drinks 16 or maybe 17 shots of Cuban coffee per day. I can respect it. Like I prefer trying to get my 8 hours and then maybe drinking 4 or 5 Cuban coffees a day, but I don't live the kind of productive life that Mario Cristobal lives. So I can respect that, man. And I've noticed this, Big John Stud, the most successful head coaches out there, whether it's the NFL level or the collegiate level, hell, probably the high school level as well. The most successful coaches out there are the guys that don't need a lot of sleep because they are grinding. They're waking up at 3, 4 a.m. to watch film. I think Cristobal wakes up before 3 a.m., I was told. Like they're waking up early. They're studying film. In his case, he's got, his big board of recruiting because he's been called by Nick Saban, called him the best recruiter in the country. And that's a hell of an endorsement from the best college coach of all time. So this guy does not sleep, literally does not sleep.
Well, I don't know if you read the report. I can't give you where it came from, honestly, but on the internet, everything pops up. Mm-hmm. They're talking about them bringing in Joe Brady.
Yeah, it's here's the thing, and I would love it, and I don't think it's impossible, but the guy who reported it first, our friend Tim Reynolds from the Associated Press, he even clarified, because what he said initially was there's mutual interest between Miami and Joe Brady. And it makes sense because Joe Brady is a South Florida guy, grew up in Pembroke Pines, has a house down here. So it would make sense. And I'm sure he would love to work with Tyler Van Dyke. Like he sees, oh man, I can work with a guy who's already looking like one of the best quarterbacks in the country. But there's nothing, like they haven't had an interview or any meeting yet to my knowledge. So it's mutual interest. It could turn into something. I would love Joe Brady. Let me tell you, Big John Stud, another guy that I would like, and it's not just because of his history at the university. I think he's ready for an opportunity like this, would be Ken Dorsey. I would love to see Dorsey come back as the OC. I wouldn't complain about Joe Brady, of course, either. He's a stud.
No, yeah, Ken Dorsey would be good. He would be up there. I mean, I would just take Joe. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't Joe Brady the OC when Joe Burrow threw 50 touchdown passes?
He was. I'm having trouble. Hold on. I'm having trouble with this damn light again. Hold on. Yeah,
every time I come on, you got some type of technical difficulty.
I know. I'm telling you. I think this thing might be dying before my very eyes. This light might be toast. Forget it. I don't need the light. Forget. You know what? My face probably looks better with less light on it. But yeah, Brady, I think he was the like the passing coordinator that year when Joe Burrow set every passing record imaginable, and then his stock was to the moon. And things didn't work out for whatever reason in Carolina, but I would still say as a college coordinator, Joe Brady to me seems very studly.
I just don't think I never thought that his career in Carolina was going to go anywhere. I mean, when you got Sam Donald as your quarterback, I mean, I don't know. I was never high on Sam Donald as other people are.
Yeah, right. No, neither was I.
To me, Sam Donald wasn't gonna help his stock anywhere. Yeah. So that's just me. Hey, who did you have on before me? That guy is hilarious.
Oh, dude, Royal A. Shepherd. He is awesome. He's part of our Heat coverage, Clutch Corner on Tyrese and Sports. Dude,
I was watching him the other day on I forgot what show he's a part of, and it was him and Alf, and they were talking Dolphin football, and I was just cracking up, and he was making a point, and I was like, you don't know me, but if I got up there, I would destroy everything you just said. Like, I would take apart every point he just made. I was going to be like, no. And I was like, you know what? Alex he's going to make this happen. You're going to give me 14 points. I'll be like, you're wrong. And this is
why. Set that up.
That was hilarious. I was watching him and I'm like, what are you talking about? And I'm sitting there like, okay, this is why people are misinformed about Dolphin stuff sometimes. It happens.
Oh man, big John Stud. Let me get one more thing on Dolphins here before we wrap it up. 4 games left, and honestly, they could all be winnable, including that New England game. Even New England Week 18 at home for Miami. That could be a winnable game. I know New England's on a 7-game winning streak right now. I wouldn't rule that. I would not rule out 4 more wins. 9-game winning streak to end the season, being right there, potentially getting a playoff spot. How optimistic are you for the final 4 games of the year?
I don't know why everybody keeps being man. Listen, I'm not a believer in ESPN, bro. Okay, I can care less what they say up there. To me, the easiest game the Dolphins are gonna have is against New England.
Ooh,
to me, that's the easiest game.
Not the Jets.
Yeah. No, well, the Jets. Let me explain why not the Jets. Because you already played them recently, right? The New England game was the first game of the year, so the teams changed throughout the year. We're not going to get the same Patriots team we saw in Week 1 that we're going to get in Week 17. Burrow learned to throw a 5-yard out. They learned to block a little better. But to me, it's the easiest game because it's the one team that Brian Flores knows the most about. So when he makes a game plan defensively, he's going to know we need to blitz Mac Jones. Every time you blitz Mac Jones, I said it 2 weeks ago, I'll say it again, he crumbles like an accordion. He can't run away from anybody. He is literally a statue. He's slower than Joe Flacco, okay?
Yeah.
And he's 20 years younger. It's bad. It's real bad. As far as the Saints, they don't scare me. I don't see Taysom Hill. Every time they put a mobile quarterback out there, you get the zero blitz. If Taysom Hill wants to run, Javon Holland's going to say, hi, how you doing? I'm here. Nice to meet you. I'm a top 5 safety in the NFL. I'm a first-round talent, and I'm going to smash you. So, it is what it is. No other team on the schedule scares me. I don't see why they shouldn't go 4-0. But the game with New England, to me, it's in Miami. It's probably going to be prime time because they're probably going to move it. Because if we go undefeated for the rest of the season until we get to New England, there's a good chance we could be playing for a playoff spot. They'll probably move that up to Sunday night or something like that. If you put the Dolphin defense after Mac Jones and you play that zero coverage, I don't see how they beat us, but that's just me.
That is well said, my friend. By the way, I thought that was your Twitter handle up there. The Fins Tailgate, our guy Chris says, I can't find Big John Stud 007 on Twitter. Where can I follow this cat? Isn't that exactly your Twitter handle? Big John Stud.
That is my Twitter handle.
Why can he not find you? I don't understand.
I don't know. Maybe because he only put one D.
That could be.
It could be that he put stud with one D instead of two.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That could be, but he even spelled it right in the message there. Try it again, bro. Big John Stud, all one word, of course. Big John Stud 007 on Twitter.
Maybe it could be. I don't know if the two O's are zeros or they're O's. I'm not sure, but I know I'm there because, hey, if you follow Donno, you can find me.
Yeah, I tagged Big John Stud in a couple of the show tweets I put out. So go to my Twitter timeline.
Go to Donno and just click on it, and my beautiful mug will pop up. It's amazing how the internet works.
Listen, man, enjoy the bye week, and I hope I can get together with you to maybe watch the Jets game together in a couple weeks. So
that would be funny, man. That would be cool.
Great. That would be fantastic.
Cool.
Well, enjoy the rest of your week, sir. It is always a pleasure, and we'll talk to you again.
Hey, who do you play today? Who do the Heat play today?
Oh, the Bucks without Jimmy and without Bam, we're gonna get smashed. Like it's not gonna be pretty. I'm gonna catch up on. I don't know. I'm gonna see what's on. I'm rewatching the old episodes of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I may marathon that tonight and save my. I'm saying that I'm gonna end up watching the Heat game and complaining.
Hey, let me ask you a question. You ever watch a TV show called The Lost Symbol?
No, never heard of it. What is that about?
You need to watch that. It's got to do something with the Illuminati. I'm telling you.
I'm there. You got to know your enemy.
You need to watch it. So basically, it's going to be an NBA gangbang. I got it. I'm not going to watch it. No point to watching that.
By the way, speaking of Illuminati stuff, do you believe in aliens? Because we did have like a pilot recently. He saw UFOs while he was piloting his plane and took some pictures of it. I've seen all I need to see. They're out there. Like, we are not alone in the universe. What do you think?
I totally agree with you. I mean, anybody who thinks we're alone it doesn't make sense, man. Listen, I've always lived by the philosophy, as crazy as it sounds. If you can imagine it, I think it exists. If you can think, if you think of if you can think of a werewolf, why wouldn't it exist? I'm being sincere. Like, look at how many planets we got in the world.
Right.
You think we're the only race?
Yeah, there's no way.
We got 64 planets.
Like, somewhere, because the universe is so vast and so big. Somewhere there are two people that look exactly like us having the exact same conversation. If it's infinite possibilities, like, we're not even the only ones doing this right now. Yeah.
I mean, there's no way. There's too much. So what are you going to tell me? One big massive meteor just died out every single planet except for ours. But the planets didn't explode. They just vacated. Where'd they go?
Yeah.
Where'd they all go? I don't get it. So they just don't make sense. But yeah, I think if you look at some of the shows that have Antarctica as a place where they go to, there have been there's been proof that there was alien ships under Antarctica.
Oh.
There are
Okay.
pyramids. There are pyramids under Antarctica.
Shit. All right, I'm into it.
You need to catch up on your History Channel, bro.
Ooh, I do. Yeah, I haven't watched Ancient Aliens in a while. So hold on, remind me one more time. What was the show called that I need to watch about the Illuminati?
The show was called Dan Brown's The Lost Symbol.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Dan Brown, that's the guy who wrote Da Vinci Code and all those books, right? That's the same guy?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm literally like binging the show. Like they were calling me earlier, and I'm like, yeah, I'm busy. They were trying to get me. They were trying to get me on somebody's show, and I'm like, I'm busy, bro. No,
Yeah.
but I'm watching. I'm not gonna. It is what it is. Not enough. You didn't pay me enough.
I've been there. Well, listen, Big John Stud, I appreciate it, and try to find him on Twitter. He's there, I'm telling you. Big John Stud 007.
Yep.
Thank you so much, my friend. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Yo, take care of yourself, man.
Love it. Awesome. So I'm in the dark here, literally. Somebody out there, Antifa, Hillary, they don't want me, they don't want my face out there, folks. Okay, there, hold on. Let me see if I can actually keep this thing on. All right. My light has been malfunctioning. Gonna try to get I like to try to get it to a level where I look tan. Oh, see, there it goes out again. Ah, come on. Do it. Where are you? Get to the chopper. Yeah, I like to try to, because see, now I look very pale, which is real, but I try to get the light to a level where I look like I'm kind of tan. So hopefully I can keep this thing. I'm gonna have to get a new light because there's not enough natural light in this room. I gotta resort to the old TV tricks with the circle light in front of my face. But this $15 circle light that I bought, it's not going well. Not going well at all. And yeah, you know what? The truth is out there. The Unidentified Celebrity Review writes in, laws are being passed in Congress and Senate as we speak about UFOs. We're being, there's probably aliens among us right now, in fact. By the way, I noticed earlier, thanks to, saw Jimmy Butler was in spamming the chat. Jimmy, get well soon. Although I won't be on tonight. It's a long season, guys. Love all my Heat fans. Thank you, Jimmy. Jimmy, I hope you're back 100% before we know it. Yeah, people are excited to see Jimmy. I have no idea if that's the real Jimmy or not. It's I don't know, but if it really is Jimmy, we love you, Jimmy. Get better, and let's go Heat tonight. I remember once, we did an episode where we talked about Joy Taylor's takes on Tua. And I didn't even bash her. I just kind of aired out her perspective. And then we got a comment on the video from Jason Taylor, but I don't know if it was the real Jason Taylor or not. I mean, I know Jason a little bit, so I guess there's a slight chance it could have really been him, but I have no clue. Jesse Lockhart, hello. I want to throw some shout outs out there to those who have been watching us in the chat. Of course, David. Oh, see, I would do this. 5 Reasons Sports UFO show with Donno and Big John Stud. I would make this a regular thing. I'm totally into it. I'm a little bit rusty on my UFO information. I've been out of that game for a while, but I'm totally down with it. I'm totally into it. I would do a show on that. Jesse, thank you so much. The Unidentified Celebrity Review, thank you so much for tuning in. Our guy Andy in Scotland, who I think is on business in Chicago this week, thank you so much for tuning in. Ray Grouillon, my guy, he says there are also some alien ships underneath Westland Mall in Hialeah. That would not surprise me whatsoever if there were. Let's see who else tuned in today. Brooklyn Rob, my guy, he's the one who coined me as the mush. Billions of stars with tens of billions of planets, numbers don't lie. It's arrogant to think we're alone. And he's right. And honestly, him saying billions of stars, that's just the amount that we can comprehend. Because if the universe really is infinite, then it's billions times billions times billions, just repeating in eternity. I'm telling you, there's somebody in another universe right now who looks just like me. Poor guy, looking just like me, who's having this same exact conversation that I'm having right now about aliens in the universe. So it's out there. The Fins Tailgate. Chris, thank you so much for tuning in. Let's see. And a lot of the same people were writing messages right around the same time. Mo Merck, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate everybody watching today. Let's see. Who else? Kentwan Blackstock, thank you so much. Yeah, this is when we were all talking Heat basketball with our guy, Royal A. Shepherd, who was nice enough to join us today. He is awesome. Craftmaster Productions, thank you so much for joining the show today and for watching. Goes a long way when we can get all you guys in the live chat. Let's see, who else? Devin Jordan, always our guy. Kyle Lowry for Kyrie Irving. Who says no? I would make that deal. You know, Kyrie can't even play in the state that he plays in right now. I would take that. I would take that deal. Let's see who else was in the chat today. Big Dan 305, our guy. It's going to be ugly tonight. He was talking about Heat Bucks this evening. You know, and I haven't said a whole lot on today's show about the Hurricanes. Now, we talked a ton about Mario Cristobal and Miami, you know, during the last couple of shows, and I'm still on cloud nine. I do want to remind you guys, if you're big Miami Hurricanes fans who have been watching this and enjoying the last couple of days, and it's not just been my show, the Sixth Ring, they've done tremendous Canes coverage. I was able to join them on Monday night in the mega show that they put on, reacting to Mario's arrival and Manny Diaz's dismissal and all that good stuff. And Ethan Skolnick had a starting 9 episode this week about the Canes. He had Vishnu Parasuraman on, who wrote some great pieces this week at 5reasonsports.com. But I would also encourage you guys, if you're a big Canes fan, the newest episode of the podcast that I do with Larry Bluestein, who is a human encyclopedia, our new 5 Rings Canes is out. That's a 5 Reasons Sports Network production, the 5 Rings Canes podcast. If you go on to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, wherever you get your pods, just search 5 Rings Canes, the number 5 Rings Canes. Make sure you subscribe. We always have a good time, and this was one of the happiest episodes we've done in a long time, right? The arrival of Cristobal, the probably imminent arrival of Dan Radakovich as Miami's new athletic director. It was a very, very happy time today. And I was talking earlier about Heat Twitter being really panicky right now. Think about the juxtaposition between Heat Twitter and Canes Twitter. Canes Twitter is probably the cockiest they have been since, when would you say? Cockiest they've been probably since the 10-game winning streak in 2017 under Mark Richt. Like when Miami beat Notre Dame that year, they just demolished Notre Dame at Hard Rock Stadium. Canes Twitter, it was a moment. It was a vibe. Like, Canes Twitter was unbelievable that night. And I think Canes Twitter now is even cockier than they were at that point. It's just been a celebration. It's been an absolute celebration in recent days. And, you know, we can tell that Mario Cristobal, we know what a hard worker this guy is. I was talking about that with Big John Studd. The guy hasn't stopped recruiting since he got here. Like, and, you know, Miami, they even got a commitment from a 4-star linebacker who we'd been tracking going back, you know, probably more than a year, Wesley Besaint from Central. He actually committed before Cristobal even arrived, during all the uncertainty with Manny Diaz. Was it going to be Manny? Was it going to be Cristobal? So that just goes to show you that guy just wanted to be a Cane, right? That, you know, even sometimes it doesn't always matter if it's, you know, a very average coach like Manny Diaz or a very good coach like Mario Cristobal out there recruiting. South Florida talent, like a lot of these guys, they're looking for reasons not to be here. They want to be here. Wesley Besaint wanted to be here, whether it was Diaz or Mario. That guy wanted to be a Miami Hurricane. So I'm so happy that he committed and we got that going. I want to remind you guys that we are brought to you by the great folks at Underdog Fantasy. Oh, I have the time of my life playing fantasy sports year-long, daily at UnderdogFantasy.com. Underdog Fantasy is the best and easiest place to play fantasy football or basketball for big cash prizes. On Underdog Fantasy, you just draft. There's no need to worry about waivers, lineups, or injuries. Underdog handles all of that for you. Go to UnderdogFantasy.com or download their app, which works great. Draft a season-long best ball team, and that is it. No in-season management. They're also going to give you free play money when you sign up. If you sign up with our code 5RSN, sign up with our code 5RSN. They're going to have a nice bonus for you. I love Underdog because it's so easy to use. The mobile app is slick. The website is user-friendly. So do what I've been doing. Go to UnderdogFantasy.com, join a league, draft a team, and that is it. You are good to go for the season, my friends. You're always good to go when you head out to the Quarterdeck Seafood Bar and Neighborhood Grill. This is such a great spot to enjoy an awesome meal, to knock down drink specials that never end. They have 2-for-1 happy hour all day, every day. As long as the Quarterdeck is open, and they're almost always open, you get that 2-for-1 happy hour, guys. The seafood is so fresh, the sandwiches and burgers, the pastas and salads, the baby back ribs. Oh, so many great options at the Quarterdeck Seafood Bar and Neighborhood Grill. We're going to have a watch party out there. In 1 week from tonight, we're going to be at the Quarterdeck Davy watching some Miami Heat basketball with the 5 Reasons Sports crew. I'm looking forward to that so much. If you want to check their menu or find the location nearest to you before you go, visit them online at quarterdeckrestaurants.com. The Quarterdeck, come for the food, stay for the fun. And yes, betus.com, full-service sportsbook, America's favorite sportsbook. They are the 3-decade leader. They're in their 27th NFL season right now. BetUS has actually been around since before they had a website, going back into the mid-90s. They've been around for a hot minute, and there's a reason why they've had so much staying power. They are the most trusted service in this industry. And yes, you can use it in Florida. We got a great bonus for you. Sign up and make your deposit at betus.com. And when you type in our code 5RSN125, they're going to give you a 125% sign-up bonus. That's 5RSN125. You bet, you win, you get paid. BetUS.com. All right, thanks to everybody. Let me see if anybody else jumped in here with a shout-out. Finn's Tailgate, thank you so much. Brooklyn Rob. We will talk to you guys again. Now, tomorrow is going to be a very busy, very, very productive day. We're going to have our show tomorrow at 1 because I'm hosting the Hawk and Crowder show. I'm going to be on with Crowder. I'm going to be with Channing Crowder tomorrow from 2 to 6 on 560 and 790 The Ticket. So I hope you guys can listen on the radio. We're going to have a Dolphins conversation here on 5 Reasons YouTube at 1. And then I'm going to be on for Mark Hochman at 2. And then at 7, I'm going to be back here on 5 Reasons Sports talking MMA and boxing, previewing UFC 269 on 5 rounds with Frank Zaffrey and James Walker. So I'm going to try and get 2 hours of sleep tonight and then 16 shots of Cuban coffee tomorrow. So please tune in. 1 o'clock here. I'll be talking Dolphins on 5 Reasons YouTube. 2 o'clock, I'm in for Hawk with Crowder on Hawk and Crowder. 560 and 790. And then 7 o'clock, right back here on 5 Reasons YouTube, talking about the fights. Dustin Poirier challenging Charles Oliveira this weekend, UFC 269. We've got you guys covered right here on another episode of Donno Daily here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Ciao.